Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Friday night. Thank you guys so much for being here and taking the time out of your Friday night to join in with us. And we got a great show tonight. We are going to share you some of our most incredible finds from 2025. So you guys are really going to love that. And also, too, we are going to maybe talk a little bit of metal detector talk and metal detecting talk. So it's going to be a jam-packed show. We don't have Michael tonight, but we got a special fill-in tonight, and we are super excited to have him back in with us. And before I bring the History Digger on, go check out his new show that he's doing. It's called The Dig It Show, and he's going to be advertising that all over his channels and stuff. So go check out his channel, and you guys can join in with him on the Dig It Show. And he'll be glad to share some of his stuff that he's got upcoming for some upcoming episodes. So I'll let him talk about that in just a few minutes. But again, thank you so much for being here on a Friday night and being a part of our channel. Hit that like button if you can as we start this show. Again, I think you guys are going to enjoy this. A lot of finds to show, a lot of great things to talk about. So we're super excited to be here on Friday night. And without further ado, let's bring on the History Digger is in the house. What's up, Mr. Rob?
How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
All right. Glad to have you in here, Rob. We can't thank you enough for filling in for Michael tonight, and we so appreciate you for joining us and being a part of our show tonight. So,
Yeah, glad to be
Rob,
here.
Rob, go ahead and tell, because I sort of led into this, but tell them a little bit about your show and what you got planned in the upcoming weeks as you prepare for that next live show.
Yeah, thank you. So I've got one show under my belt. We actually call it the Digging History Show, and the next episode will be airing on Tuesday,
Okay.
February 3rd at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
And right now, I'm sticking to kind of a monthly schedule, but I've got a pretty cool guest lined up for this one. Some of you may know Gary Gross, Double G Diggs.
The double
Double G
G's in the
Diggs.
house.
He lives down in Florida, but he detects all over the world. And let me tell you, he's a fascinating guy, not just because of, some of his detecting stories, but he's spent his career in law enforcement,
Yeah.
but along the way, he was also in several movies as, extras, and he had some small parts. So we're going to talk with Gary. We're going to talk a lot about beach detecting, some beach tips. And then I've got a special segment around something I call History Revealed. If you guys like
Okay.
history, check it out. But I just got to say one last thing. If many of you guys I've seen, I'm looking at the chat. I know a lot of you are regulars. I'm going to tell you, Brian makes this look really easy. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and
Oh,
he sets a high bar.
yeah. Well, look, let me tell you, it isn't easy doing this, and that's why we've taken a couple of Fridays off to sort of recharge our batteries, but we're going to be back in full force and going hard here as we head into the new year. Happy New Year to everyone too, by the way, as we start the first digging deep metal detecting live stream show for 2026. So again, we're super excited to start 2026 with one of the most fantastic audiences on YouTube, and we appreciate everyone being here. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat. We are extremely excited that you guys have chosen to watch us on a Friday night, and there is a football game going on, and I know that, but we'll catch that football game. We'll catch the second half if we have to, Rob. So anyway, Rob, you know the drill. We always like to shout out to our fans and our audience, and we appreciate everyone. And let's start with Mr. Old Pelon. Says, good evening, everyone. He says, good evening to Brian and Michael. Well, Michael's not here, but we do have Michael's metal detecting tip of the week, so we are going to bring that to you. Michael recorded it just for you guys, so we are going to have Michael on here in just a few. We got MD4 Cash 05S. Glad to have MD Cash in here. We got Mr. Surfside Dan, as always. And Rob, by the way, Surfside Dan and I are going metal detecting tomorrow on a very, very, very historical site. So I'm really looking forward to being with Surfside Dan.
Awesome.
Dan is an awesome dude, and I had a lot of fun with Dan. We went to the Relic show down in Charleston just this past weekend. Went and had a great time. He and Michael and I did. And then we went and had some Melvin's barbecue in Charleston, South Carolina.
I heard it
And
was a massive
they have
big show,
the
right?
best cheeseburger of anywhere, even though it's a barbecue place.
Wow.
The the double cheeseburger, it's chef's
Mm.
kiss for sure, no question about it. But again, Surfside Dan, I will be with him tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have some good footage to bring to you guys. And we got a couple of other hunts too that we're sort of holding back, but we will have those up on the channel real soon. We've got Mr. Digging Daryl, and we've got something special from Digging Daryl tonight too, Rob, which we're going to share here in the next few minutes. There's Miss Teresa here. Glad to have Teresa in here with us. Thank you so much for joining in with us tonight, Teresa. We got 5 against 4, and he was one of our winners for that raffle the other night. And wow, what a great prize he won, Rob. He won a MindLab Equinox 800 and got the headphones and an extra coil and all of that. Got the full package. So congratulations to 5 against 4, and we are so excited to have him back with us tonight as well. We got Mr. Old Timer 5037 in here. Thanks for supporting our channel tonight. We got Mr. Edward G, and glad to have Edward G in here. Mr. Damian Thorne is in here. Glad to have Damian. We've got Mr. Tesh Ridge Digger in the house. Glad to have Tesh Ridge with us. Trying not to miss anybody here, Rob. I'm scrolling down, a lot of the same people commenting, and that's fine.
Well, we
And
got a
that's
few more. Keep going.
Yeah, we got Mr. Ohio Fred in the house. Glad to have Ohio Fred, always a great supporter. Mr. David Link, 9760, says hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Glad to have David in the house with us. We got Miss Bells in here. Glad to have Bells, and we're looking forward to seeing Bells. Hopefully, Bells will be at DigStock, and we can catch up at DigStock. We got Mr. David Moss in the house. Glad to have David with us. Always a great supporter of our channel as well. We've got Razorback Chemist in the house. Says, hey guys, glad to have Razorback with us. And there he is, all the way from Ireland, Mr. Detect Meister. Always here every Friday night. Rob never misses a show. We appreciate his support as well. We got DK1 Detect. Says, hello, y'all, or all. And we appreciate DK being in here. We got Mr. Doug Atkins. Says, good evening, everyone from South Louisiana. There he is, Mr. CZ Digger's in the house. Glad to have CZ with us, as always, a great supporter of our channel. There's Mr. Brian Thomas. Met Brian at the show last weekend. Thanks, Brian, for coming up and speaking with us. We enjoyed talking to you, and we're hoping you're out there finding some great treasures as well. So thank you for being here with us tonight. There's Mr. Carson Chris. Says, shout out to all the LEOs on their day of recognition. Glad to have Carson Chris with us, as always, great supporter of our channel. Mr. Ricky Bennett is here tonight. Says, greetings, everyone. Happy Friday night and Happy New Year. Always appreciate Ricky being here with us tonight. We've got Mr. Trevor Van Horn in the house. Says, hello, everyone. We got G. Woodrew here. He says, howdy, folks. Glad to have him in the house with us tonight. Mr. Tom Temple. Glad to have Tom in the house. Thanks, Tom, for joining in. Tom's one of our native South Carolinians, and we're glad to have him with us as well. And anyway, we'll get back to that. Tom was actually with me when I dug that beautiful bag seal that we posted the other day.
That.
And that bag seal was the same bag seal that was featured on Oak Island's last episode.
Incredible.
And believe it or not, I dug one. Mine looks a heck of a lot better, though, than the one that they found on Oak Island, doesn't it, Tom? And I know Tom's on here. So glad to have Tom with us. We got Mr. Bucket Lister in the house. Says, what's up, chat? Glad to have Andrew in here with us. Andrew was on here with us not too long ago. We appreciate him joining in. There's Mr. Sniff It Out is in here with us tonight. Thank you for joining in. Sniff It Out. We've got Mr. Digging It Back. So one other thing, Rob, I got to mention. So you can get double your pleasure or double your punishment if you want to. I'm going to be on Charlie's show tomorrow night, Digging It Back. I will be with those guys tomorrow night. So if you want to come over and check us out on Charlie's show tomorrow night, Saturday night, I might have to get Charlie to tell me the time because I haven't really looked, but I know it's Saturday night. I want to say 9 o'clock, but Charlie can correct me if I'm wrong. But we will be joining in with that crowd tomorrow night. So come check us out. We'll be over there. We'll be talking all things metal detecting. So again, that's going to be a lot of fun being over there with those guys and just having a great time. There's Miss Metal Detectorist in the house. Hey, congratulations to Metal Detectorist. She has become a nomad for Nocta. It was just, I saw it on Facebook. Rob saw it this morning too. He and I were talking about it. So excited for her to be joining in with Nocta and sharing her adventures running Nocta machines and so on. But we really appreciated Bree being on here with us not too long ago. So congratulations, Bree, and we're glad you're here with us tonight as well. There's Mr. Connors in the house. Says, what up, guys? Can't wait to see us in March, and we will see Connor in March, I believe, if Connor's going to be there, and I think he will be. We've got Mr. Keegan in the house. Glad to have Keegan with us. Appreciate him joining with us tonight. We got Mr. Lance in the house. Glad to have Lance here. Hope Lance is doing well and always a supporter of our channel, and we appreciate Lance for joining in. Trying to get to everybody here, Rob. There's a lot of comments. Wow, you guys have really
got a lot.
in the comments.
Gary just joined. Double G Diggs.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
DC Diggins in the house says go ACC, and we know what he's talking about. Glad to have DC Diggin, always a fantastic supporter of our channel as well. Mr. Joe Dirt is in the house. Glad to have Joe Dirt. Appreciate him joining in tonight. We got Mr. Wisco Detect. Thank you, Wisco Detect, for being here tonight. We appreciate you as well. We got Digging Up New York. Says, hey, how's everyone doing tonight? Glad to have Digging Up New York in the house with us as well. So we're going through this list. We got Miss Jean P. Rob, you remember Jean? Jean met us at DigStock.
I sure do. I hope she's going to the next one.
Awesome lady. Jean is really, really, really fun to be around, and we're looking forward to seeing
a cup of coffee together, if I recall, Gene.
Yeah. There's Mr. Michael tuning in from afar. We know what Michael. I sent Rob a picture of what Michael was doing tonight, earlier today. So we'll let Michael slide tonight, right, Rob?
Okay. All right.
There's Barb, the Dirt Pirate, in the house. Glad to have Barb. She's always here. We appreciate her joining.
Barb is a heck of an artist, man. She's making some cool stuff. During this cold month.
Okay. We got Mr. Double G Diggs. Rob was just talking about Mr. Gary Gross there, Double G Diggs, and I have hunted with Double G Diggs at DigStock too. So, again, super, super nice guy. Glad he's in here with us tonight. We appreciate him joining in. Let's see here, Rob. I'm trying to look who's here. It's the Mental Metal in the house. Glad to have Mental Metal joining in with us, Mr. Scott. Thank you, Scott, for joining in tonight. We appreciate you being here, buddy. Scott's been doing some great things over there on his channel, so definitely go check him out. Super, super nice guy. And you guys know Scott's been on here a couple of times with us.
Great information. A lot of love his tutorials.
Yes, he's got a lot of great content on his channel as well. So I think I got through everybody. If I missed you, oh, wait a minute. Got to get this guy in. We got Mr. 5 Mile Relic Hunter. Says, hey, guys. And he says, good to see you. 5 Mile, always a fantastic supporter of our channel. And we appreciate Mr. 5 Mile being here tonight, all the way from Missouri. I think that's right. Missouri. Yes. So we appreciate him joining in with us. Rob. So now that I'm my mouth's dry after doing
You need
that,
to
Rob.
take a drink.
I gotta have a
I
sip
think you
after
need to
this.
stop for a minute, take a drink. While you're doing that, hey guys in the chat, I know a lot of you are regulars, but just don't forget, hit that like button. That helps everybody else see this thing and sends a little bit of love Brian's way.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all so much. And we've got a fantastic show that we've got planned. We are going to be talking a lot of finds. I know we talk a lot of metal detectors and we talk metal detecting and talk about settings and all those kinds of things. Tonight we're gonna focus in on the history and the finds a little bit more than what we normally do. But since it is a new year, I started looking back and Rob, when I started looking back, I saw all these great pictures of all of these things that we have found all throughout the year. And I feel very fortunate and very blessed that I had the opportunity to find some of these amazing relics and artifacts. And I could have made this thing as long as I mean, we would have been here forever if I started showing every single thing. And we had some amazing finds. So I sort of picked out the highlights. There were some that were left out that probably I could have added, but I picked the best ones, the ones that I thought that you guys would be the most interested in, the ones that I was extremely proud of throughout the year. And I wanted to share those with you guys. So tonight it is going to be about finds and history and that kind of stuff. And Rob's going to be sort of interjecting his opinions and voice on some of these things too. So we're looking forward to bringing you that. But before we start with all of that, we're going to start with a very important find, and it's a find by one of our viewers. And this guy is loyal to our channel. He's been with us since the beginning, and that is Mr. Diggin' Daryl. Diggin' Daryl sent me a text the other day, and he goes, Brian, he said, I'm so excited. I'm using this HF2 coil, and it has really produced for me. And I just wanted to share this find with you because it was just an incredible find and something he was extremely proud of. So without further ado, Rob, let's look at Diggin' Daryl's find that he had. And there it is. Look at there. He found an 1857 seated dime, and it's got the nice little hole in it. And believe it or not, Rob, I have never dug one with a hole in it.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of conjecture. Well, I think there's different reasons for the hole. I had found a gosh, I don't think it. Maybe it was also a seated. I had a video up on it, and I did some research. Like, why would somebody put a hole in there? And the location of the hole has a lot to do with it too. But there's it'd be interesting to ask folks in the chat why they think people why did they put holes in these coins. There were, and I'm just going to tell you, most people agree there were multiple reasons. But what do you think, Brian? Why did people do that?
Well, the story that I've always been told is that they wore them around their neck, and I think they wore them like that because for some people that was all the money that they had. They didn't really have a lot of silver, and the silver coin back then was a really valuable piece of money. So that's part of it. The other thing that I've always heard is that they wore it for good luck. They wore it around their neck for good luck. So, I mean, I've heard those two things. What about you? What's your
Yeah,
story?
definitely. And I think both of those, I don't think it's an either or. I've also read, I mean, of course, they would the clothing back then, there weren't a lot of pockets. So for security, sometimes they would
Right.
sew the
Right. They
coin.
were afraid they would lose these, and some of
They
these
would,
coin these dimes. I mean, they are the same size as our regular, but you guys know you can lose a dime real easy, right?
that's right. We
Yeah.
benefit from that. But I also found, parts of like the African culture. I mean, what happens to silver if you leave it out over an extended period of time in the air? It tarnishes. It turns black, and parts of the African American culture believed that it helped with arthritis, that it was pulling the bad mojo out of your
Right.
body. So they would sometimes wear, like bracelets with
Right.
multiple pieces of silver. They thought it was like a healing thing,
Right.
actually.
Yeah. I've heard all kinds of things.
Oh, it's
So
fascinating.
yeah, and I guess like I said, a lot of people money, especially small coins like we just said, but silver coins they were considered pretty valuable back then. 10 cent could go a long way
And
back
look
in
at
the
the shape of that thing.
1800s,
That's a
right?
beautiful
Yeah.
find.
So again, that's why they mainly put a lot of these around their neck or around their wrist. And of course, eventually they would break off and they would lose them. And luckily for us, we come and find them.
You
So
find them.
yeah,
I also, one other thing I heard too is that some people, as a commemorative, maybe a good luck thing, like if you were building a new home, they would take a silver coin and put it over top of the mantle. They would nail it right over top of the mantle.
right,
And but what I love about that, right? It's not only a great find, but then think about all the stories possibly. How did that get there?
right. Yeah, that's
And
true.
awesome find, Daryl.
That is an amazing find, Daryl, and thank you so much for sharing that with me. Daryl just recently got the Deus 2 HF2 coil, and he's taken to it very very fast. And we know that he tunes in and watches everything that we say about that coil. So, and Rob is a very affluent or very well trained user of that coil as well.
It's nice to see they're flowing into the US finally, and
Right.
it'll be interesting to hear, other people's experiences. You and I have talked about it. But yeah, it's a specialty coil, as we've said many times, but
Yeah.
it's been nice to go over previous areas
Right. And
where,
I'd be interested. I didn't ask Daryl this. I would be interested to ask Daryl how many times has he hunted that spot before? Or was that his first time, or was that a spot that he had hunted multiple times
well,
and
great
he
question.
found that out? So Daryl, I know you're on here, so you can fill the audience in on that. So, but man, what an amazing find! I
No
love those
kidding.
coins. I love the design of that coin, Rob.
Mhm.
It's just that classic design. They just don't make coins like that anymore,
No.
period. And just love that design of that coin as well. So
Hey,
congratulations to
Brian, did
Miss.
you know about the new 2026 commemorative coins coming out? Have you looked at them yet?
No, I have not, Rob. So you might can fill me
Yeah,
in.
you guys, if you haven't seen them, for the 250th anniversary celebration, I think there's at least one new nickel, a new dime,
Right,
several quarters. But my understanding is, I think they're only for maybe this is just the quarters, but I think they're only for 2026.
right,
And
right.
then I don't know what they're going to do for 2027. But yeah, check it out. There's some cool designs coming.
Yeah, we're all waiting for Daryl to respond back. Everybody's going
He's
Daryl,
filling up
Daryl,
that train, I
Daryl.
think.
Daryl must be eating or something right now. But again, we appreciate Daryl sharing that find with us, and he was really excited to share it with me and tell me about it. And just an incredible find. I love those coins. So always,
He's on the phone with Michael. Michael's showing him pictures from the
yeah.
show
Michael's
and
showing him
saying,
pictures from his fishing show today. So there we go. All right, Rob. So let's dive into the beginning. I dug this artifact and this relic on January the 1st, 2025. So this is how I started my year. So I guess it was an omen, Rob.
hmm,
But here's the very first relic that I dug in 2025. And Rob, there it is. This is a Confederate wreath buckle. Now, I wish I could have found the tongue that goes with it. I'm almost 90% sure that it was probably a South Carolina, but I do have the wreath part of it. I just don't have the tongue. And this is how I started 2025 with a find that I never dreamed that I would ever find. And usually these were worn by, of course, officers, Confederate officers. So this is just an amazing find, and this was a great way to start 2025. All of the finds that you're going to see, you can go back and go through my channel and you can watch me dig all of these artifacts that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. But I was real excited about it. At first, I did not know what this was. And it took me a minute, and then finally it dawned on me what it was. I thought it was something to do with a hose or something like that at first, because there was an old house right nearby that's still standing. And at first, I thought it was going to be a piece of garbage.
was
And
it
then
deep, Brian?
It was not deep. It was probably about 6 to 7 inches. And it was amazing to me that somebody missed this.
Hmm.
But it was loud and it was screaming. And it was just such an amazing find. And I was super excited to dig it. The video of me digging it is classic. So go check out, go back to the 1st of January, and you'll be able to see the whole entire hunt,
Wow.
and you'll see this dug. But wow, it was just an amazing way to start 2025,
No
and
kidding.
I was super excited to get this. I've never dug one before, and that just blew me away. When I popped this out of the dirt, I cleaned it up, and sure enough, that's what it was. So I was extremely excited about it. And again, there's probably some members in here that are some people in our audience that have dug these types of things before. I wish I could find the tongue. I've never dug a tongue to one of these buckles. So I keep going to that spot. Rob, you were at this spot with me as well. In fact, you hunted it with me a month later after I dug this.
Of
And
course. Yeah.
yeah, and every time I go there, I go back over to that spot and I keep swinging because I just feel like that tongue's somewhere laying in there. So
Wow.
maybe one day it pops out, and we'll see. We'll see what happens when it does.
I'm
So
so glad you're doing this, Brian, because I try to follow and watch as much as I can, but we not only miss stuff in the ground, but I miss stuff from other people's channels. And I like these recaps, these collages. Some people do reels, videos.
right.
It's just nice to take a step back and you appreciate. I mean, the stuff you found. That's incredible. And day one of my hey, did you go out day one of this year?
No, I went out January 2nd this year. Went out with Michael, and we hunted the mill site, which somebody just mentioned a few minutes ago, and that was our first hunt of 2026,
Awesome.
and we found some
Hey,
pretty cool things. Nothing as dramatic as this, but it was still a fun hunt. And yeah, go check out our latest video with Michael and I on this old mill. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And
by the way, Brian, Daryl said he had visited that site a few times before,
yeah, okay. Yeah,
where he found
everybody's
the
visited that
seed.
site a few times. If you've watched any of my videos, you've seen me on a lot of the same properties.
No, this where he found the seeded. He had
Oh,
hit that a few times before.
oh yeah, yes, definitely. So yes, so he had visited a few times before, and he was able to squeak out something he missed. And wow, what a find that was too for Daryl. So yes, he says thank you. He says I'm still smiling about that find. I would be too, Daryl, for sure. I would be definitely smiling from ear to ear when it comes to digging any silver, and I just love silver coins before 1900. I just love those types of coins, and I know a lot of us do. So yeah, congratulations to Daryl once again. So Rob, here's some two other grapevines. I dug two of these in the same day. These are two beautiful South Carolina buttons, two different variations of the South Carolina Confederate buttons, Civil War buttons. Again, you can go check out the channel and see the video. These were dug, I believe these were dug in June or July of this past year. And these were just unbelievable. One of them has a very rare back mark to it. In fact, it was made in Baltimore, and this is I mean, I love digging these, and anytime I see that palmetto tree come out of the ground, it's just crazy, Rob, just crazy, crazy stuff. And I love digging my native state
Yeah.
Civil War buttons, whatever's related to my state, South Carolina. It just gets me fired up. I get juiced when I dig
And Brian,
anything with South
I know
Carolina.
part of the reason why you've told me your family goes like way back, right?
Oh
Don't you have?
yes, it
Yeah.
does. And my family's lived in South Carolina since 1730, so I've got deep roots here. I know everything that my grandfathers were doing during the Civil War period, during the Revolutionary War period, during the period between the wars. I've got sort of a full biography of everything from those periods, and I love seeing this sort of stuff come out of the ground. But two South Carolina buttons in the same day. First time I've ever done that. I've dug a lot of South Carolina buttons, but I don't think I've ever dug two in the same day. So
Wow.
that was definitely a unique day as well, on a different spot than what I've been normally hunting. And so yeah, we'll take these South Carolina buttons all day long. So Rob, have you ever dug a South Carolina button? I know you've been to a lot of places in the South.
No, I haven't. In fact, what I love about buttons is the variety. They come in, they all tell a different story and stuff. I've found some cool ones, some old ones, a Connecticut button, nothing from the deep South,
Okay.
but I love them, and I like the backs because the backs tell a different story too. Depending on the shank and whether it's one piece, two piece. I mean, these are so sweet. I did see you also have like a bottle with that motif on it, don't you?
Yeah, let's show that bottle real quick. I've got one right here. So again, anything South Carolina related, I'm always into. But there we
Is
go.
that the one? Did you tell me? Is that the one you dug with your dad or something? You
Yes,
found?
this is one that I dug with my dad, and that makes it very special to me. And this bottle dates back to the 1890s.
Awesome.
So
Now,
yeah,
Brian,
that's a South
I
Carolina
have dug a
dispensary.
Wisconsin Civil War button,
Oh, really?
a button with a Wisconsin state seal on it. Yes. Now, I should say military button, but it was Civil War era. And of all the places, you know where I dug it? Right in my backyard. My
Yeah.
properties, there used to be an old hotel here, and I just presume somebody kept a coat. Maybe it was a guest or something, but that's the only Civil War era button I've ever dug.
Well, yeah. Well, Civil War buttons are, they're just special to me. Like I said, I know I'm a history teacher, so you guys know I love anything history related. Military history gets me jazzed up even more. And so I know you guys see me dig so many buttons, but when I'm digging those buttons, I know one of them eventually is going to come out with something on it. And that was the same case here. You keep digging till you get one of those buttons that you really, really, really wanted. And in a lot of cases, you can find them at a lot of these sites that I hunt, these old plantations, on these old 1860s, 1850s, early 1800s home sites. And so it just makes my day whenever I dig those types of buttons, and I really get fired up. These two buttons, I will say this: these two buttons were dug with the Manicore, and so again, Manicore
Hmm.
came through. The Manicore had never been on this site before either, and so it was the first time I hunted this site with the Manicore. I had hunted it with the Deus 1 and the Deus 2. So the Manicore came through in this situation, but I'm getting ready to show you where the Deus 2 with that new HF2 coil on the same site where I dug these two South Carolina buttons. I've been hunting that site for 5 years, Rob. 5 years. The Manicore found these two buttons, and the Deus 2 is going to come through again for me on this same site. I went the very next day with Michael after I dug these two buttons and dug something really special, and I got that one coming up in just a second.
I
So,
think it's so important to. I just put an article up about this on one of my groups to mix up mix up your variables. Whether
right,
go
exactly,
out to a different, let's just say it's the same location, different machine, different frequency, after a rain, different size coil, right?
right.
I think it makes and what you never know for sure. What was it? Did I just miss it? Did I just miss it, or was it a different frequency? Did the Manicore punch deeper? Was it? I do know in some cases that HF2, because I know I was specifically looking for small lost gold items. I
Right.
know for sure, and I've done some testing with it. But putting that aside for a minute, I think it's just a good practice to go out and mix up your game a bit.
Exactly, Rob. And, use other machines, use different coils, try different settings. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And you guys see, I get rewarded because I do those types of things on sites that I have hunted. Just like I just said, this site I've been hunting for 5 years. Look at these two beautiful buttons that I missed during that 5 year period. Now, I've dug a lot of South Carolina buttons off of this site. But I missed these two. These were probably two of the best ones that I've ever dug off of that site. The dirt's not very kind to those buttons too in this site either. So we were really lucky to save these two amazing artifacts from the Civil War. Rob, the next one is one that I'm very proud of. And again, some of you have seen this button before, but this is a War of 1812 U.S. naval button. Never in my wildest dreams would I thought I would have dug this button off of this site. Never produced anything War of 1812 related. Never saw anything that would have indicated that this button would have been on that site. Was running the HF2, and this button got picked up because of my diligence at running the Deus 2 and the HF2 coil. It really reacted very strange. And if you don't believe me, go watch the video because this button was tucked in iron, and I had hunted. This was the same, Rob, this was the same site that you were on with me. I dug this button off of it. So, running that HF2, I was running a high discrimination, and I was able to pull this War of 1812 U.S. naval button, Rob. And I never dreamed I would ever dig one of these, especially this variation off of this site. So, boy, it was a great day. Mr. Mike Howell was there with me when I dug this from LMS Metal Detecting, as well as Surfside Dan. So they got to see me dig this button, and they were blown away when they saw that come out of the ground. And it was just
you just got to wonder about the story. How did it get there? A quick one. I was with Metal Detecting Wisconsin, Jeff Klajorian. We were at a site north of Milwaukee, and he dug a button. It was from the Cutter Service. And if you're not familiar with Coast Guard, the Coast Guard was formed. There were two groups that merged. There was this first aid group, and the Cutter Service was the group going up and down the coast trying to, make sure people were paying their duties, their taxes if you were importing, goods. And they also did that, by the way, up in the Great Lakes.
Right.
And all that we could come up with is somebody probably who was in the Cutter Service, maybe in Lake Michigan, Lake Superior.
Right.
They would keep these coats for many, many, many years. Somehow found his way into Wisconsin, and boom, we found it in a farm field. So, you're a little closer to the coast there, but still, would you ever have expected to find that?
I would have never expected to find that. And Surfside Dan left the comment. He says, I remember that day. Surfside Dan will tell you, Rob, it was about 95, 98 degrees that day. And Surfside Dan will tell you, it was hot. I was sweating.
Ouch.
The sweat was just dripping off of me. I mean, when I was digging this thing. And when that thing came out, you should have seen our faces. We were just like shocked, that came off of that site. And just really blew us away. But again, super excited about that button. I just never would have dreamed I would have dug.
And it's just a beautiful engraving too. I mean, whoever did that, wow.
Yeah, it is. And you got the stars, and you have the anchor with the shield, the eagle. The eagle facing that way. It was just a really, really, really cool button.
Brian, I have a couple friends. You know about this, right? They've had a few favorite finds, kind of put into a tattoo and tattooed on them. I think this would be a qualifier for you, man.
It's a great find,
But I'm saying I think you could get a tattoo with this.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've dug a lot of really cool buttons, but the one thing that really, really sort of satisfied me was when I dug two USA buttons. I'm such a big Rev War fan, and to dig two of those was just amazing. And so I just, nothing will ever top that button to me. So, everybody's got their favorite pieces that they want to find. And I know a lot of people in the chat maybe would say, hey, here's my favorite pieces. But there are a lot of great artifacts and relics that a lot of us would love to dig. And again, the USA button was my white whale, Rob. It really was, and I've gotten that. So, all of these buttons to me are just sort of like icing on the cake.
Were those the same day, Brian? Same
No,
Same
no,
hole?
it wasn't. This was, we really didn't dig that much that day, but this button came out of the ground, and Dan will tell you it was just amazing. And it was a very, very, very challenged target, very iffy, and it was really interesting. Daryl said that would be a great tattoo. And Double G Dig says I
I
used
think
my
we're going to start
HF2
a
coil today for
GoFundMe.
the first time. Second dig, out popped a vintage ladies ring. He said I'd hit that same spot 5 times, and I'm hearing this story quite frequently. And I discovered it early on when I first started using this coil, that I was finding things that I had missed, and I'd hunted with the Deus 2 with the 9-inch coil. I'd hunted with the Manicore on this side. I'd hunted with the Legend on this site, the Triple Score on this site, the Vortex on this site. I've hunted with all those different machines, and that comes out of the ground. So, just crazy, crazy, crazy. You just never know. You really don't. And that's what makes this hobby so fun, is that you
You know
don't
what,
ever know.
Brian, my one wish with that HF2 is I wish it shipped with 2 charging cables.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know why? Because
Mm-hmm.
you last thing you want to do, you're, especially if you're traveling, whatever, because it's a different cable. I like it. I like it better, but I'm going to have to order myself an extra cable just because I know one of these days, I always try to take 2 of everything when I'm traveling
Right.
anyway.
Yeah. I get
I'm
it.
going to
I get it
have to do that.
100%. So this next find, even though it's not necessarily the greatest find in the world, but it is a post Civil War South Carolina button. This button dates after 1870, and was really shocked. I dug this button, and I got another button on here that I dug on the same day, and same site where this War of 1812 button came from, Rob. So same site that you had hunted with me back in March, and this was found in, I want to say, May or June of this past year. But just a beautiful button. I mean, it had a little bit of gunk up at the top, but had a lot of gold gilt still left on it. Again, I love anything with the South Carolina logo on it. And again, this is a post Civil War South Carolina button, and just an amazing,
My heart would have
amazing button.
stopped when I saw that first glint of the gilding.
Oh yeah, well, hey, it'll get you. Hey, it'll get you fired up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because you always think, is this a gold coin? You start thinking
How
that
many times
too.
did that happen to us, right?
Yeah. So 5 Mile says, that's it. I'm moving to South Carolina.
Well, here's the other thing, Brian. What's your state bird? Isn't it the mosquito?
Yeah, it should be. It definitely should be. If you like mosquitoes, and you like bears, and you like
It
wildcats,
is.
and you like alligators, and you like
Those little
all kinds
chigger
of
bugs.
wildlife, sharks. If you like any of that, you can come to South Carolina and you can experience all of that. And to couple it all with that, you get 1,000% humidity during the summer, where you wouldn't want to hunt more than about an hour tops, and you just want
Brian
to go eat.
Brian sent me this video the other day because he knows, it's cold here. The lake's frozen. We're ice fishing, and I think he was rubbing it in a little bit. And he sent me this beautiful video of this area, and there's the water and the trees. And I said, "Are there alligators in there?" And he laughed at me. He just laughed at me.
No, there's alligators everywhere around here, Rob. But again, this was a great button. I mean, I was real excited to see that. I've never dug one of these, Rob. So this was a post Civil War South Carolina button, but very unique to me. Was super excited to dig that button. And again, the video is up on the channel. You can go back and check out the full video. But just a really cool button, with a lot of gold gilt still left on it. The dirt is primo in this area, as you can tell from some of the artifacts I'm showing as well. So Barb says she'll trade me some copperheads. Yeah, well, we have copperheads too. We have copperheads, water moccasins, rattlesnakes, you name it, we got it. We got it all. Yes, sweat, 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 and more sweat is exactly right. That's what we deal with here in South Carolina. So if you're not a big fan of really, really hot, humid weather, don't come to South Carolina, and don't go to Florida or Georgia. It's pretty bad. It is. It's really bad. But again, great button. I was real excited about this one as well. Now, Rob, this is one that I think everybody can relate to, um, and 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 I dug this just recently, and a heart-shaped heel plate. Rob, have you dug one of those before?
Still on my bucket list.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
I couldn't believe when I dug that. It was
I
just,
remember you finding this because you did a little research, and I think
mm,
there's a cool story about what these, how these were used, what they meant and everything, right?
yeah, yeah. M- Look at Michael. Why is Michael coming on here and commenting rather than just being on here? You know?
Michael, you owe me, buddy. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I know. He's making you do all the dirty work tonight. So, yeah, these heel plates are real, and they also make one that has a four-leaf clover on it, Rob. And I know I saw somebody dig one of these the other day, and some people keep saying that these were worn by the prostitutes, and that the prostitutes followed the Civil War soldiers around. I've heard that story, but whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't have any verified information on that, but just a really, really, really unique find, and I was real excited to dig this. I even took a big picture of me holding it up, and some of you probably seen that picture, but you can go back and see the live dig of this, and yes, it was just really, really, really cool. But a heart shaped heel plate was just a super amazing find. Say, Rob, you've never dug one of these, right?
No, I haven't. I've been with some people who have, and most of the time they seem like to have just fallen off of the shoe because we've found shoes with just as we're digging a hole, there's old leather and stuff, but I'm guessing most of the time like the screws, I don't know, disintegrated or they came out because I've only seen them found without, but no, I've never had the pleasure.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people believe that when they walked in the dirt, it left behind the footprints, and so the soldiers could follow them to wherever they needed to go,
Oh,
so
that's
they
an
could
interesting.
get their services, Rob.
Wow, wow.
So, 5 Mile asked me how old this is, and it dates to the Civil War, 1850s, maybe 1840s, 1850s, 60s, 70s. I think they started fading out after that. I'm not real sure, but it's somewhere in that range as well. So yeah, really, really, really cool find, and love digging those. So Rob, the next find is one that I never dreamed I would dig either. And once again, it comes off of the same site that we've been talking about. A lot of history on this site. But check this one out, Rob. This one is really cool.
Oh,
So I dug this, and I couldn't believe it. The funny thing is that if I would have found the whole one, it would have been probably one of the rarest finds I've ever dug. This is an 1803 slave tag, a circular slave tag that you don't really see that often. So I've been told that there aren't many of these, and I've also been told that even in Charleston, South Carolina, you don't see these. This is from Charleston, and it is an 1803 slave tag or fragment of an 1803 slave tag. You'll notice that it is circular, but the rarest of the rare, and I probably just would have just dropped right there if I would have dug a whole one. There is one that is in the African American Museum in Washington, D.C., that is similar to the fragment of this tag. So just a super, super neat find. Tough history. An enslaved person wore this around their neck to identify whatever job that they did on these southern plantations. So, again, but very rare artifact, very rare relic. And this is in the
and Brian,
possession of the
I've
owner.
known you for a couple years now,
Yes, sir.
and I remember you talking about like oh man, I would love you put it out to the universe.
Hmm.
This was on your bucket list, and
Right.
I remember you finding this. And what I know you enjoy, you are a history teacher. you very much like preserving history. And yeah, there's some tough history with this, but this is out of the ground, and right, you can share it with people. And how many times have you gone back to try to find the rest of it?
I've gone a gazillion times. Yeah, every time I go to that same spot, just like I do with the wreath. I go to that same spot because I keep hoping that the soil conditions or something's going to change, just like what we just said, or I run a different setup over that spot just to see. Because again, guys, when you dig something like this or you dig that wreath buckle and you want to go back in and maybe find the rest of it, then maybe it's going to require changing some settings. Maybe it's going to require running a different machine. Maybe it's going to require running a different size coil. That's why we keep saying these things to everyone, because you just never know. Conditions change, situations change. The dirt could get moved. Running over it with a car sometimes can even help, believe it or not, Rob. Just enough to where it breaks the
Oh, and
um,
it can
the
happen.
halo type thing above
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I know probably folks have found like half of something, and it's happened to me. I've found a half of a. It was like a early 1900s, late 1800s coin. I don't think you call it a purse, but women would hang it around their neck, and
Mm-hmm.
there would be enough. There was a spring-loaded space in there where you would either put a dime or a nickel, that kind of
Right.
thing. And anyway, I found one half in the fall, and I found the other half in the spring. So it does happen, if it's not plowed ground, maybe, but that is just an incredible find.
Yeah, and it's only a fragment of it too, Rob. And it's actually, I mean, and you guys can see it on my tip of my fingers. It was actually about that long, Rob. I mean, if you look at my hands right now, but and it rang up a 82, 81 on the day. I can even remember the numbers.
And it looks like
That's
a clean cut, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Fairly
it got
clean.
cut probably by when they were logging in that area or they were plowing in that area. It just got clean cut. So I just keep hoping that that other piece is going to show up, because if it does and I can match them up, oh wow, that'll be the most amazing find ever. Yeah, for me it would be. So yeah, just a really 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 unique find. Again, sad portion of our history. Enslaved person lost this, and a lot of these places I hunt are, there were enslaved people that were working on these plantations. But this is an important piece of history too, as well. The good or the bad, and that's you know this is just an amazing find. And like I said, I hope maybe one day I will find the other piece of that as I move forward. But again, 1803 slave tag, and one of the finds that was the highlight of 2025 for me, digging this artifact. So
Hey,
the
Brian, you got a
next one,
question in the chat. People are
yeah.
asking if, only slave tags been found in the state of South Carolina? Do you know if they've ever been
Well,
found anywhere
they
else?
have slave tags for other states. The ones in South Carolina are unique because most of the slaves that were bought and sold were sold out of Charleston.
The
So
port.
this would have had Charleston, South Carolina on it. And I should have put a picture of what a whole one looks like, the one that's in the National African American Museum. But Charleston, South Carolina was one of the biggest ports for bringing in slaves. Most of those slaves were coming from the Caribbean area, mainly the island of Barbados, just so you guys know. And again, the slave trade ended in all of the United States in 1807. That is the international slave trade. So if you didn't know that, 1807 is when the international slave trade ended. And then after 1807, most of the slaves that were in South Carolina and the southern states were slaves that were homegrown, unfortunately. So there you go. But again, just a really, really, really amazing artifact that we dug here from 1803. So our next find is and Rob, I dug this on the same day that I dug that 1803 slave tag.
I don't
This
think
is
I remember this one.
Yeah. Now this is a police button. This button dates. I've seen some different years for this. This dates 18. Some people say in the 1850s. all the way up through the 1870s. And you'll notice it's got a P on the front of it, Rob, and just a crazy find. They didn't really have a standard police uniform back then, but these were the ones that that were being worn at that time. And it makes you wonder what was going on there for there to be a police officer there.
Wow, on that
Yeah,
site.
yeah, on that
Brian,
side.
have you ever heard the? I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute. I don't know if this is true or not, but someone told me there's a reason why police, like one of their nicknames, they were called coppers.
Are you
You
talking
ever hear
about
that?
like a police officer being called a copper?
Yeah, you're not going to get me, copper.
Yeah,
Copper.
yeah. I've heard that up north. I haven't heard them say that
I
down in the
don't
south.
know. I don't have a source to cite, but I was told that's because some of the original badges were made out of copper. Police
Yeah,
badges were copper.
yeah, yeah. That could
I don't
be
know.
it, Rob. I don't know on that one. Yeah. So you might have me on that one for sure. But this button, great button. I can remember exactly how it sounded. It was that real wispy sound too, Rob, on that Deus 2.
Hmm.
Again, running the HF2 coil. The HF2 coil found this and that slave badge, slave tag on the same day.
And
Um,
remind everybody, Brian, what kind of audio do you like to use on the Deus 2?
the audio I run is PWM. And I'm a big fan of full tones. I did not dig this button though running full tones. I remember very vividly that I was running deep high conductor on this target, and that's why I was sort of getting that wispy sound. So yeah, deep high conductor on this one with the Deus 2, and it pulled out this beautiful police button. And
Yep.
I've never
Wow.
dug one of these before, so this was a first for me as well. So just super, super excited. Yeah, and Double G says, "Hey, now that's a fine coming from a retired LEO." What does LEO mean? Am
Law
I being
enforcement officer.
law enforcement officer? Okay, now that makes sense. So, but yeah, wow, just a police button. Again, another find that I never expected to dig, and
That's
really,
just that's hey, if you don't mind, let me give another plug for my upcoming show because
yeah,
Double G Diggs, he retired, but he went back. They called him back. He's going to talk a little bit to the degree he can. He actually now works on cold cases,
yeah.
and he's actually solved some since he's been back. So, thanks for your service there, Gary. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, Rob, we're going through these finds. So
Go
again, a
for it.
police officer's button. The next one is one that's pretty common for most people, that especially guys that live in the north. A King George, I could have shown. I think when I counted it up, I think I had like maybe 4 or 5 King Georges this year alone. And of course, I've dug a lot of these, but this was the one that had the most detail. A lot of these are sort of worn. This one's worn too, but you can still sort of make out KG, his head and the bust and all that sort of stuff on it. But I always love digging King George's, and that's a King George III copper penny that I dug. So really like that find as well. And again, I know a lot of you are familiar with that coin. So, but again, love digging those, love showing those off, and always excited anytime I dig one of those. Yeah, a greenie. That's all
They
Rob
sound
loves.
so good.
So this was a find that we just dug recently, Rob, and this is the find that is featured in American Digger magazine. So again, if you want to see my article on this find, this Confederate lined eye button, and I dug this when I was with Mr. Mike Hall at LMS Metal Detecting. He got to witness the entire dig and was just blown away by what he saw and could not believe that there was a button laying in all of this iron. And so, again, this is a Confederate lined eye button. And of course, you'll see different variations of these infantry buttons, which are Confederate infantry buttons. They'll have some that are more block oriented. These buttons, a lot of these buttons were imported directly from Great Britain because it was really hard to get some of these things. The back on this one is blank, so it doesn't have that. So I believe this one might have been made in Charleston, which is the only other place you could have gotten some of these. But again, very, very unique find. I always love when I see one of these come out of the ground. It is featured in American Digger magazine for you guys that want to see it. But that
Brian,
is
do
a
you have
Confederate
any
line.
insight, like how it got there? Do you think I mean, was there a battle? Do you think somebody
No,
went
I
there to
think
lodge?
Rob, this again, you were with me on a couple of these sites. This button, I believe, was there because there were Confederate soldiers stationed at this plantation to guard it against any Union advancements up the river and so on. So that's what I believe. I think there was an outpost there with
Wow.
a couple of soldiers there at some point. And when you do see these things, that's usually why, because they were guarding these places to try to keep them from coming under Union control during the Civil War. So yes, it is an awesome button and one that I just was blown away by when I dug it. And again, HF2 coil again coming through. A lot of bucket listers were dug with the HF2 coil this summer. And, this is another one to add to that list. The slave tag was dug with HF2. This line die button was dug with the HF2. That police button was dug with the HF2. The South Carolina buttons were dug with the Manicore. But remember, I told you the HF2 is going to strike back, and we're going to show you the strike back in just a few minutes on that same site the very next day. So we're going to show that in just a minute. Another really cool button, Rob, that we dug was this beautiful artillery button. And you can see the A and the crest of the eagle. This one, people are going to like this. This one was dug with the Garrett Vortex VX9 on a, not the same site, but a similar site, basically sort of in the same area. So again, a artillery eagle button. Have you ever dug one of those, Rob?
I've dug an infantry button, Union, but help me out. Is that Union?
Well, here's an interesting thing, and I know a lot of people on here know this, and that is that the Confederates wore a lot of the same uniforms or buttons that were worn by the Union soldiers as well. So not unusual for you to find these on Confederate sites. They wore the same eagle buttons that were worn on Union uniforms. Remember, they didn't have access to a lot of the buttons and some of the supplies and things that they needed. So they basically got whatever they could confiscate from some of the northern forts or Union forts or U.S. forts that were in the South, and so they just repurposed them and wore them in a lot of cases. And of course, as you get closer to the end of the war, they basically didn't have any uniforms in some
Hmm.
cases. They just wore whatever they had. And
That's
so,
interesting. I did. So
yeah,
some of these are clearly identifiable as Confederate. Some
right.
could be either or.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too to keep in mind. After the Civil War was over with, the South was occupied. The South was divided into 5 districts, and
Hmm.
the Northern forces actually were stationed in these 5 districts. So yes, it could have come from after the Civil War, where they were still stationed here as well. So again, I really love knowing that this is an artillery button, which means that they might have had cannons or might have had something, an artillery piece in this area where I was actually hunting. So um, Garrett Vortex with the come through here with this
Embrace
artillery
the
button.
storm.
Yeah, yeah. Embrace the
Embrace the
storm. There
storm.
you go. Right. All right, Rob. So this was by far probably one of my most, or one of the most, or the best find. I think is my best find. Uh, the slave tag is really nice. I wish it would have been whole, and it probably would have outpaced this find. But this find was the one that I was telling you about. If I can, that's not it. Where is my? Oh gosh, I think I have deleted that one, Rob.
Yeah, I just love that design. It's a beautiful design there. And it's, what's cool about that too is it's carried all the way through. Like you'll still see that. Is that a palmetto tree? Palm tree,
Yeah, it
something like
is a
that?
palmetto tree.
I think that's on
Um,
the flag. And you see a lot of that design's used on modern day signage today too for the state.
so, Rob, give me 1 second. I'm going to show you, and you guys can see what the button was. It was a Confederate cavalry button. So let me pull that up and put that up there for you guys to see here in just one
While you're
second.
doing that, I'm checking the chat here. Some folks are just commenting on that write up in American Digger magazine. They said it was a real nice write up. There was a close up in there, a photo of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this, and I know what this looks like.
Barb has found a few of those Eagle artillery buttons.
All right, Rob. So I'm putting this one up right now. Y'all bear with me as I have to do some
Okay, yeah,
changing around
we
here.
can see it there.
Yeah, there it is right there. But anyway, this is a Confederate cavalry button, Rob, and this button is pretty rare. This was worn probably by a Confederate officer. So again, this was one of my best finds of 2025. Michael was actually with me when I dug this, and you can see. Look at the program that I was running. I was running deep high conductor on the Deus 2 with the HF2 coil, Rob. And one thing that I was doing, and I know a lot of you have heard me talk about this, but one thing that I love doing is I love running the discrimination up and running it up to where I can find, things like this. And I used to not want to do that because with the Deus 1, if you ran the discrimination above 10, you started losing depth. The machine didn't act the same. But with the Deus 2, you can get away with running that discrimination up at a higher level. And Michael got to witness me digging this button, and he was just blown away that it turned out.
Michael said he told you to go over and detect that area, that he put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, he
No, he
didn't.
didn't say that. I'm only kidding.
Let me tell you what Michael did. So when we got there, I was so tired because I had sweated so bad from the day before when I dug those two South Carolina buttons with the Manicore. I was so drained. Michael came down, and then we went hunting the very next day. And we went back to the same spot where I dug those South Carolina buttons. And I told Michael, even when we got there, I said, hey, I don't even know if I'm going to hunt. I am wiped out. And so I sat on the tailgate of the truck while Michael started metal detecting. And Michael dug a shield nickel that day. And he came over and he goes, hey, I found a shield nickel. And I said, what? A shield nickel? And I know you guys, I know people are going like, what the heck's he talking about? But anyway, he dug a shield nickel. And that sort of piqued my interest. And I said, you know what? I didn't run the HF2 coil on this site. I ran the Manicore. I said, Michael, I think I'm just going to get out the HF2 coil and I'm going to run the discrimination up and just cherry pick because
Yeah.
I've hunted this site. I've been hunting this site for 5 years.
But
And
there you go. You mixed it up. You
yeah,
changed the
I
variable.
mixed it up. I changed coil size. I changed settings. I ran something different that I hadn't been running. And then out came probably the
Wow.
find of the year for me.
Wow.
And that was this
Incredible.
cavalry button. And what an amazing, amazing find that was, that cavalry button. So, I would have never dreamed in a million years that I would have dug that. And,
Brian, when you detect, do you grid or do you kind of, meander? What do you do?
and that's a good question. I see a lot of people that have a lot of different strategies. And again, I think that all depends on if you have the opportunity to hunt a site, multiple times or endless times. So every time I go to a site that I've hunted a bunch, just like this site, I try to hunt it a little bit differently, Rob, in the way I walk it, because again, all it takes is that one bleep, that one high pitched shrill
Mhm.
that you might hear that's going to set you off and say, "Hey, stop, dig this dummy. Don't walk away from it." Sometimes that's how this works, you know?
I love that because like sometimes there's it's like nature almost wants to convince you if you go onto a field and there's a natural tree line, a break, a river. I think a lot of people will just, oh, I'm going to start and linearly. I'm going to pick a line and I'll be parallel to that. I sometimes just like to kind of do a crazy Ivan, as my friend Chicago Ron calls it. I'll just do a
Hmm.
like a left turn and I'll cut diagonally across a field,
Right.
especially if there's a chance that I've been there before, somebody else has been there before, because it's the angle, the difference in the angle I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But I like what you first said. It depends. It depends if you're on. Hey, am I maybe I grid if I'm really finding something.
Right.
I want
Right.
to be precise. It really depends.
And again, guys, I know I've said this and I'm going to keep saying this. Sometimes just making those slight adjustments to your machine or to your settings, or using a different coil, sometimes those slight little things like that can definitely change your whole situation on sites that you've been to before. Daryl was a good example. Michael's a great example of it. Michael knows what I'm talking about too, and I know you do as well, Rob. But it's just those little slight differences are things that can definitely change things up, and they can bring you some unbelievable finds and some things that you might have missed. Yeah. Michael says he only found a shield nickel that day. And a lot of people would be excited about a shield. But if Michael did not dig that shield nickel in the same area where I dug this button. And the funny thing was I had walked this site a gazillion times, Rob.
Yeah.
And I
Hey,
cannot I can
someday you dig the shield nickel. Some days you
yeah.
dig the Calvary button.
Yeah, some days you dig the
That's
Calvary button. But yeah, it's just it's crazy. And I know a lot of people are on the chat saying I random till I find something, then spiral around to find. That's what DC Digging says. So yeah,
mm,
I mean, you just never know. Just
no.
turning a certain way sometimes can make all the difference in the world. It really can. And so we encourage everyone to practice that policy. If you do have an opportunity to go to a site over and over and over again, walk it a different way, run a different code, choose a different setting, try those things out, because you never know what those things could possibly produce. So again, we encourage every single one of you to do that. Um, uh, by the way, too, we're just going to pause for 1 second. We're going to do Michael's detecting tip of the week, because we've been rambling, and we've got a special intro to that tip, and we're going to play that in a minute. But hit that like button, guys. Hit that thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Digging It Back, Mr. Charlie, for the super chat. Charlie left us a super chat on there. We appreciate him. Super chat of $10 that was left on here. So thank you. All donations go straight back into the channel. This isn't free for us to be on here. We do pay a service, by the way, too, to come to you live. And of course, you guys know, you see all the cameras, all the things that I have. All of that stuff costs money too, but we
Sound like
try to bring it out.
Scott's running some kind of like enforcement thing for you.
Yeah,
You know, he's forcing people to pay or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mental
Well,
health.
yeah. I'm not doing that. I just, hey, it's free. If you want to give and you feel the need to give, that's great. If you don't, no harm, no foul. We're going to be here regardless, and we're going to still bring you this information and bring you our content regardless. But if you do want to support our channel, again, you can join in and support us at any time, any day, any day of the week, any time of the month, whenever the need feels like it hits you, then we're more than happy to accept. So thank you guys so much for being such a great audience. So without further ado, Rob, we need to do our detecting tip of the week. So let's see. We've got a little special guest here that's going to sort of introduce this. So stay tuned.
Hey, Brian, stop hogging the microphone. We all want to hear Michael's tip of the week.
Hi guys, I just wanted to hop on here and give you my tip of the week. I'm not going to be on the show tonight. I have a show. We have a fishing expo up in Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you're in the area, come check us out. But anyway, me and Brian had a hunt this past weekend, and we talked about this. And this area we know has probably been hunted before, and the targets are a little sparse in parts of it. But what I've found from hunting in the past, and it's the same way here, if there's big trees there and there's roots, make sure you get in the little nooks in between the roots. Make sure you kick over some limbs that have fallen, or logs, because a lot of times, you think in the past people are gonna metal detect the easiest place first, thick areas, areas that you think someone else might avoid going. That's where you want to check. You got to think when these relics were dropped, it was probably a field or could have been wide open area, but now it's grown up. But just the areas where you think, the little tight areas, which is what's great about this HF2 coil. You can get in tight areas, in between roots, up under limbs, just areas that other people may have missed. And that's where, you might find a find of a lifetime that they have missed. But yeah, that's my tip. Just think about, you got to kind of think out of the box. Don't go to the easiest places. If a place has been hunted, try to hunt the areas where they may have missed, in the tight areas and up under logs, limbs, areas that you wouldn't think about normally hunting. But thanks guys, and hope everybody has a good night.
So there he is, Mr. NC Relic Hunter himself, Mr. Michael Coley, bringing you that tip of the week. Great tip, wasn't it, Rob?
Man, I tell you what, I love it because, whether it's a 9-inch coil, a sniper coil, that HF2, the elliptical, sometimes you're in high weeds, or Michael was talking about the roots, or let's say you're in a park
Right.
and you want to get close to a sidewalk that has rebar in it. I think sometimes, again, people dismiss that, you can snake into those areas. Sometimes you can kind of detect almost with like an S pattern with your swing. And but what most people do, they get out, they're in a rush, they go out and they hunt the open areas. So I think it's an awesome tip. I've found some great stuff in those kinds of areas that he was talking about. And of course the roots stop stuff from, I mean, number one, that tree's been there for a while. Chances are the ground wasn't disturbed,
Right.
but you might
Exactly.
find something there that hasn't sunk as much as it would in an open field. I think that's an awesome tip, Michael.
Yeah, and Michael and I were talking about this when and he mentioned it. We were out hunting, and I'm going like, you know what? I'm gonna hunt where this tree blew over. I'm gonna hunt where this tree right around the edge of that tree. And of course, he brought up the HF2 because the HF2 definitely around those trees, you can really get in there a little bit closer with the way that that coil is designed. And we were talking about that, and I said, you know what, Michael, that would be a great tip. Let's share that tip because and then we actually moved a tree at one point. Some trees are too big to move, but some of them you can move, and you never know what you're gonna find around some of those blown down trees or tree limbs or trees that
Yeah.
have blown over,
Yeah.
and they leave a big hole. Sometimes you can go in those holes and all of a sudden, wham, there's something great
You don't
lying in
know.
there.
I swung the Knox 800 for a while, and I had that 6-inch sniper, that real small round one, puck they called it. And some similar advantages, but it was round. But with what's so nice about these ellipticals, and even Garrett, this is why I think Garrett's cool too, is you get the advantage of the size on the vertical, because we're swinging this way,
Right.
but you get the benefit of the width on the horizontal.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I
do.
mean?
You do, you do. But again, that's a great tip, and I'm glad Michael was able to share that with us tonight. Hate he couldn't be here with us, Rob, but again, he did go to the effort to videotape that tip for us. Real quick, Rob, I want to do some quick housekeeping things for everyone. First off, guys, don't forget to support, and I need to drag Rob in here. Support LMS Metal Detecting. They are a sponsor of our channel, and we really appreciate LMS Metal Detecting. There's their website. You guys can go and check it out. But just got a lot of great deals. He's giving away a padded bag with that Manicore, which you just saw up there. You can get an XP Deus 2 right now for $12.99. If you like the Vortex, he's got some savings there, which you see coming up on the screen. The Xterra Pro, for you guys that might be new to the hobby, you can go check out Mr. Mike Heil and LMS Metal Detecting, and he can get you hooked up with that as well. So again, LMS Metal Detecting for all your metal detecting needs, located in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. One of my good friends, and he provides a lot of service after the sale. LMS Metal Detecting. Go check him out, guys, if you are looking for something metal detecting related. He's got beach scoops for you guys that are beach hunters. One of the best scoops that I've ever used that he hooked me up with. That's a titanium. It's got the titanium head on it. Those things are awesome. So if you are looking for anything like even a beach scoop, he's got those things for you. So go check out Mr. Mike Heil at LMS Metal Detecting. And I will be hunting with Mike tomorrow on a very historical property, and we're real excited to get out there for that. One other thing I would like to mention real quick is, and I'm going to drag Rob in here on this, that is DigStock. And if you are going to DigStock, Rob and I will be there, as well as Michael will be there. You can buy tickets. We will have a link in our description for the DigStock show. That is going to happen on March the 5th. So if you're in the North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia area, or if you want to fly in from somewhere else or drive in from somewhere else, you can definitely sign up for it. Go check out DigStock. You will be able to get, what is it, Rob? 3 days of hunting, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you got a lot to hunt. And I think he said it's almost 7,000 acres, right,
Yeah,
Rob?
this one, I think this one's going to be really good. And if you've never been to a dig stock, these are natural hunts, and so there's always a risk of, hey, what's the site going to produce? Number one, this is a big one. There is a lot of history on there, but I enjoy seeing everybody and talking with everybody. We have a lot of fun. What I love about DigStock are the maps they put together. They have a tagline. They do all the work, so you don't have to. So you get this map that it's a Google map. It integrates with your phone. You get it, I think, a day or two before the hunt, and they've got all the old home sites already on there. And I mean, it's some. Take a look at it. I know a lot of people are like, I don't know. This one looks like it's going to be cool, and I do think they have tickets left, Brian. I think.
Yeah. David Link, 9760 says he's got a question about DigStock. He says, I'm trying to buy a ticket and also a guest. It only lets me purchase one or the other.
I think the reason there, when you purchase a ticket, they also it after you complete the purchase, you have to complete like a liability thing. Hey, if I trip and fall and break my arm, it's my fault. Something like that. So I don't believe. I could be wrong on this, but I don't think you can buy it for anybody. You have to buy them individually for
Yeah,
for
that's
that
what I
list.
was going to say. I think whoever you're buying it for, you might have to just get them to go on
Mhm.
to the website to buy it.
There is an
With,
FAQ on that site. And it's they have a Facebook group called DigStock Talk, and it's amazing. The same questions are asked over and over and over again. But I understand, right? But go to their website, and there's an FAQ, frequently asked questions site, and they list all kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going to be there. Michael will be there. There's a few people I think on the chat that are going to be there.
oh
There's a
yeah,
quite a
yeah,
few folks in the YouTube community.
yeah.
It looks to be a good one.
Yeah, come join us, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, come by and say hey. If you have already purchased your ticket, come by and say hey to Rob and I and Michael and I. We're all going to be there. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to go out and metal detect some. So come by the Southern Relic Adventures tent. Come by the History Digger tent. Come by and say hey. We would love to see you guys and just talk to you. You know, it's fun talking online and
My
via
tent
the
will be the
video.
one with all the pull tabs in the
Yeah,
front. Brian's will be the one with all the Confederate stuff
yeah,
out there. You
whatever.
can't miss it. You can't miss it.
Whatever, Rob. You know better than that for sure. So Rob is an excellent metal detector as well. So, but anyway, come join us at DigStock. It is a great event. You know, not always about the funds, but about enjoying being together, hanging out with each other, and just having a good time. You know,
Oh, and
everybody there has got the same sort of vibe as far as what's going on. So just a
exactly.
fantastic
And they
event.
raffle off. You get a ticket. I think you can buy raffle tickets. They give away a ton of stuff. So I think there was one dig stock. I actually won two detectors at one of them.
Right.
Walked out of there with two
Yeah.
detectors.
Yeah, it's such a great event as well. So we appreciate DigStock. They are a supporter of our channel as well. So again, if you are interested in buying tickets, we will have the link up in the description after the video is over with. So or after the live stream ends. So go check that out if you are interested. Then click on the link, sign up for DigStock, and we will see you there on March the 5th. And we will be out there having a good time, you know, enjoying metal detecting and just sharing in the hobby. So we're looking very, very much forward to that happening very, very soon. So it's going to be a great time. Come join us as well. So, Rob, you got anything you want to share real quick before we get out of here? We've been on here for almost an hour and a half. That was way longer than what I thought it was going to be. But again, we appreciate everyone hanging on and staying in here with us. We've got close to 50 people in here right now that are joining in with the show. So we appreciate them
Yeah,
being a
listen,
part of that.
thanks for people, coming on these live streams. There's a few of them out there. I mean, we learn from one another, we share information, and take advantage of some of the tips from one another in the chat from Brian. And
Mm-hmm.
I hope everybody has a super successful, fun, safe, enjoyable
Right.
2026.
Yeah, it's going to be a great 2026, and we're glad that you chose Southern Relic Adventures as your home to come and join in on our live stream and be a part of our show and be a part of our audience. We really appreciate that. And thank you to Mr. Joe Dirt for that super sticker tonight. We appreciate that. He says a parrot character jumping up and down saying hi, said number one fan. Thank you, Joe Dirt. We appreciate you, buddy. You are always an awesome supporter of our channel. So we wouldn't be here without you guys and all of your support. Once again, we appreciate all of you. Yes, it was a great time tonight, Rob. I hope I didn't bore anybody with the finds. Hopefully, you guys got to see some of the things that I find, what I go out and hunt. And again, I could have made that longer than what it was. I just sort of tried to handpick a few, and I know I missed a few. Rob, there was one that I missed. I dug
Which one?
a Nova Constellatio that I did not put up there. It's the first coin that was ever minted by the U.S. government, and I was rushing.
Hey,
So,
listen, you got a lot going on there.
oh
You're
yeah,
listening to me, Gab. You're watching the chat. You're running like I said, you make it look easy, man.
no, it's not easy, by the way, either. So I'm sitting here trying to check out all you guys and see what you're saying. Some great conversation I saw going on in the chat. You know, Rob, one thing I really love about our audience is they are always so supportive of each other too, and I think people really appreciate that when they come into this show. That they know they're going to get support. They're not going to get criticized for whatever they say. And I have seen on live streams and on forums and some of these other places that people are sometimes afraid to say anything because they're going to get attacked. But our audience is not like that. Our
You're
audience
not,
is
Brian.
so giving, and you know,
Be respectful, be kind, try to lift one another
yeah,
up. It's easy to try to tear other people down. And listen, you guys vote with who you watch, right? Who you support, who you follow. And I just, I hope everybody you see somebody not following the metal detecting code of ethics, politely, privately, you call them out. But yeah, Brian, I mean, I couldn't be more with you. Support one another. This is a great hobby. Let's keep it that way. Okay.
yeah, yeah, right. And that's the way it should be. We're all supporting each other. We're not here to tear anybody down, you know. And if that's the kind of channel you're watching, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But um, I love our audience, and I don't think there's anybody on here that's like that at all. I think most of the people that come on here really want to support and help, and lift each other up, like we just said. And I think that's a huge part of this. That builds the community, that builds the hobby, that makes people feel good about what they're doing. And that's what we hope happens after every single one of these shows. And again, guys, if you ever have a question, don't hesitate to reach out to me, reach out to the History Digger, reach out to Michael. We're more than happy to help you out. We don't know everything. We don't claim to be professionals. We're just guys with metal detectors that just love this hobby, love history, love finding things, and that's what it's ultimately all about. And we appreciate you guys being a part of our show as well. So yes, best audience ever on here, and we really, really, really love that you guys are here with us every Friday night. So thank you so much. Um, Rob, we are going to have some giveaways coming up probably in the future. So if we didn't do a giveaway tonight, but we are going to be doing some giveaways coming up real soon. So check us out. We will be here next Friday. I will have Michael back with us, and Rob will be joining in and filling in sometimes too whenever he gets the opportunity. We appreciate the History Digger being a part of our show tonight. Thank you, Rob, so much for taking your time on a Friday night to come and join us and be a great part of our show as well, and offer all of your great insight into what we do. So we appreciate you so much, buddy.
My pleasure, man. Good to be here.
Yeah, and again, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And we look forward to bringing you another fantastic live stream. And also, check out all of our great content on Southern Relic Adventures. Check out Mr. Rob's. I did it right that time, Rob. Check out Mr. Rob's, the History Digger channel, all the great content that he has over there on his. Check out his live stream. He's going to have those coming up February 3rd, right, Rob?
February 3rd,
Right.
7 o'clock Eastern Time, the Digging History Show, YouTube, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn. I don't know. We'll see.
Right. You're going to be everywhere, Rob.
Everywhere.
And don't forget, tomorrow night, I will be on Digging It Back with Mr. Charlie. We're going to be doing a live stream together, so I'm looking forward to that and sharing in the fun with Charlie and those guys. Check out us tomorrow night, and we would greatly appreciate that. I will share that on the YouTube channel as well as on Facebook and some other areas. So go check us out there. We will be back. And if you didn't get tired of me tonight, then come on and watch us tomorrow night. And we're going to be talking more metal detecting stuff, metal detectors, all those types of things. So all that's going to happen tomorrow night too as well. So thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Get out there. Find some amazing things. And we will catch you guys soon on our next adventure. Take care. We appreciate you guys. Thank y'all so much for being a part of Southern Relic Adventures. Take care and have a great night.